Unexpected consequence of the pandemic, fentanyl-based overdoses have risen dramatically after the state worked feverishly to decrease them over the last few years. Tracy Amick-Peer is taking a closer look at new resources offering help.
So we've come a long way in Georgia since I stepped out of that crack house on October the 12th of 1994.
But 25 years after William Moyers started his recovery, he says we still have a long way to go. So he helped work to bring Hazelden Betty Ford and Emory Healthcare together for a new addiction resource called the Addiction Alliance of Georgia. Emory psychiatrist Dr. Justine Welsh says now it's more important than ever during this pandemic.
So I'm seeing an escalation in alcohol use, cannabis, opioids, and stimulants like methamphetamine and cocaine.
Overdoses are up too. In fact, ER visits from overdoses from December to April of this year were up 17%. And that just tracks the first few months of the pandemic.
And we expect those numbers to continue to go up.
Welsh says the Addiction Alliance of Georgia aims to fill in the gaps to support as many Georgians as they can.
Addiction is an illness that doesn't discriminate, and recovery shouldn't discriminate either.
Increasing clinical services, research, and education, even developing programs for school-aged children to teach them about addiction and decrease the stigma of getting help.
There weren't the resources that this alliance will provide, not just to people with insurance, not just to people with jobs, but for all people who need and deserve hope, help, and healing.
Over the next year, they'll be expanding the outpatient services at Emory. Then, over the next few years, they'll be developing a freestanding detox unit and residential program. To find out more information on what the Addiction Alliance of Georgia will provide, you can go to the As Seen on TV section of the 11 Alive app.